Good morning. The birds are being a little noisy this morning. I did not schedule the stream. I didn't forget to. I just never got to doing that. Well, good morning. Welcome to another live stream, Salience Hour of Power live stream, Saturday mornings, 9 a.m. Eastern, where I like to add comedy into fish keeping, talk about all things fish, Q&As, you name it. The result of not scheduling your live stream is late joiners sometimes. Hey, P-Tag, good to see you, buddy. How are you today? Hey, Garcia. Garcia's still trying to sleep. We got to keep it down. Discus North's in. Good to see you, buddy. Hey, Whips World. Appreciate you. Yes, let's get tanked. Whip's famous saying, let's get tanked. What's for breakfast? I put together, so kind of like a vegetable sandwich, Texas toast with mayonnaise. And I slice up pickle and tomato and put it on there, add a little pepper. That's what I ate this morning anyways. There's Select Pet. Good to see you, buddy. Watch that video of yours on the aquarium co-op food that you did, sir. Don't know if you saw my comment or not. Just was kind of curious to let me know how your fish like that food. Now we made Discus North hungry. Dang it. Hey, Tommy, good to see you. Tommy, that's fitting that you came in because when I made my sandwich this morning, it was on Texas toast because Texas toast is bigger, and we know everything in Texas is inherently bigger. So I've heard. I know the Texas toast is bigger. P-Tag says, I thought your 1980s short video was funny. Good. I'm glad. That's the point. Add some education at the same time while being funny. And it's paying off. I have, as of yesterday, I hit over 21,000 subscribers. So a little under 300 more, and I'm going to beat Mike Loves Life. We're coming up on your heels, Mike Loves Life. We'll see if we can do it. A while back, I put a post out challenging Mike Loves Life. He actually got mad at me over it, and we talked it out. He doesn't seem like he's mad about it, and I certainly didn't mean to make him mad over that post. I think we're good now. So it's just when I say that, everybody's different, but I think most of you guys know that 90% of the stuff I say outside of fish keeping, I talk about the things I know, but I like to joke around and have fun. I'm a very translucent person. So like my FU series shorts, it's all in fun. It's all in comedy. I like to have fun. I believe life is too short to not have fun. We get one life. And if you walk through life taking it too serious, I think that's an issue. I think that's a problem. But to each their own. Everybody's different. Me, I'm not going to spend my life being so serious about everything that when I walk, I look like a board. So, but I think we worked that out. I don't think he's mad at me about that anymore. It was to be a joke. But Mike Loves Life has 21.4K subs. I now have 21.1. So anybody that you guys might know that's not subscribed to the channel, put my channel out there. Let some people know. P-Tech says life is definitely too short. We have to have fun and enjoy it. Oh, yeah, absolutely. P-Tech, if you can't laugh at yourself and you can't laugh at life, what's the point of living? Select Pet, your name is John, right? I think it's John. We've had this conversation a while back, but I believe it's John, right? Select Pet says they like the food, but it's a powder, so it's best for swallowing. Okay, so it's a fry food. And not the best for the barb and goldfish family due to contents. Okay, well, let me ask you this, Select Pet. And this is a question I have for everybody. I've been watching a lot of Ben Shapiro and Charlie Kirk. I love those two. Charles Kirk. So if you hear some different words coming out of me, like um, bigger words that you wouldn't normally hear from me, it's because of that. um, John, for most people, okay, John. So let me ask you this, John. What fish food? What contents are what fish food is actually good for goldfish? I guess in a sense, I'm asking what is a fish food for goldfish? What does the ingredients need to be? What do they have to be? Because I think, and this is a good subject for the live stream, because I feel like I was that person. You can only feed this to blood parrots. You can only feed this to cichlids. You can only feed this to goldfish. You can only feed this to tetras. What I have found over the years, not over the years, this is something I started doing fairly recent, where all the different fish foods I have, which are solely Northfin now, I've been giving them to all my fish. Now, apart from goldfish, I'm not putting cichlid food in with my goldfish. Something I wanted to try. But like my tiger barbs, rasboras, neon tetras, danios, platies, serpe tetra, Oscars, angelfish. I have a mix of flake food that has the cichlid flake foods, the krill in it, and kelp flakes. I give that to all my fish, and I haven't had an issue. Now, when it comes to pellets, does that make a difference? Can I take, for example, excluding vegetable pellets, because the veggies are good for everybody, can I take Northfin cichlid pellet and give it to my goldfish? Would that have any health issues in the goldfish? Because if you sit and look at the ingredients of fish foods, they're all relatively the same with some slightly different recipes. What are we feeding our goldfish? It's krill, it's kelp, it's spirulina, it's black soldier fly. You get what I'm saying? It's either granules, it's more bug related. Do we have to feed a goldfish specific food to goldfish? And that's for any fish species. Hikari makes a specific blood parrot food. It's a pellet. It's supposed to enhance their color. Why couldn't I feed that to my Oscars? Is it a money-making scheme? Or can we feed all food to all fish? Let me get your thoughts on that. Duckweed, yeah, I got duckweed. I have seen some of my fish eating duckweed, not all of them. My birds are very noisy this morning. Discus North says he gives all my fish a mix of everything. Yeah, and that's what I've been doing. And so far, I haven't seen any ill effects. Gimmicks, Discus thinks gimmicks. P-Tech says, I really like the mixture of foods. I do that with Northfin krill, veggie, bug, and cichlid food, kind of like you do with your big bin mixes. Yeah, exactly. When I was feeding Extreme Aquatics and I was buying Extreme Aquatics food, I had a bunch of foods. I had, Extreme, Hikari, not Hikari. I'm not a fan of Hikari. I'm really not. Nothing against them, but if you compare Hikari's fish foods to Extreme or Northfin or Omega 1, it's really not that good of a fish food compared to those ones as far as the amount of high quality ingredients within it. I think Ben Ochart did a comparison on those one time, and Hikari was like last. But yeah, I enjoy mixing my foods because they get everything in one. Branton Lightcap says it's all marketing as far as those foods, and no, you cannot feed all foods to all fish. Okay. Take my I'm not sure what a skiffia is, for example, 90% vegetarian diet. Oh, well, I disagree with you, Branton, and I'll tell you why. You can feed anything, but it may not be the best for them, right? Whip says, I'm told these are some fish that are more sensitive to too much protein, but like you, I mix most of my food together and let them work it out. As far as I know, there hasn't been a problem. P-Tech says the only thing I do different is I have a community fish food from Cunningham Tropicals for my community tank, but veggie wafers and for bottom feeders. Okay. Well, Brant, why I disagree with you is because I keep Mbuna, and they're primarily herbivores. They like their vegetables, right? I give them Bug Pro. I have a specific veggie mix that I feel is a fantastic veggie mix where I mix Northfin's veggie pellets with NLS Algae Max. Fantastic vegetable mix with a lot of different nutrients right there. And I feed that to my booners. But I also give them Bug Pro. I've given them cichlid pellets. I've given them Krill Pro. And they're fine. And I've been doing that for a while. Now, John says, for example, goldfish eat high protein, but they can't process right. And I'll one up on that, John, and I'll say that's even worse for your fancy goldfish. Allison, good to see you, says Hikari supposedly keeps their best foods in the Japanese market. Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense. I can't blame them for that. But for a business standpoint, that's a horrible decision. You know, if they want to just serve their country where they're from, that's fine. But as for a business standpoint, that's a horrible decision because they're making a heck of a lot more money. But that's their business, not mine. P-Tech says, yeah, I feed my Mbuna, Northfin veggie mostly, and a little Krill and extreme cichlid. I feel like they're just getting a little bit, and they eat it up. They love it. Now, Brent says, Skiffia are not Mbuna. They're pretty sensitive. Okay, well, I'll take your, yeah. And that, for me, that's the only way I was able to relate to you on that subject, because the only herbivore fish I have is Mbuna. I don't even know what a Skiffia is, so I'll definitely take your word on that. But this is something I've always wondered, like, you know, what I feel like it's a marketing scheme for the most part. Now, like Brent says, there are some fish out there that, you know, you got to be careful how much you feed them of anything. Oh, I do know with my tiger barbs, I have to be careful how much you feed them. Having tiger barbs all these years, I have found out they are prone to bloat every bit as much as a fancy goldfish. I feed them every 2 days. And because I was feeding them daily, small amounts, right? Well, I noticed they were getting bloat, and I fixed it by giving them Epsom salt baths for 30 minutes a day. But since I went from feeding them every other day, smaller foods, more highly digestible food, meaning like Northfin's Foods has the highest marine grade proteins you can get in food. It's very highly digestible, meaning it all gets digested as opposed to your subpar proteins in your foods that don't, and that's what causes bloat. You really don't have an issue. That's why Northfin can get away having 42% protein in their foods, because it's the highest marine grade proteins and you can get in the food, and it's very highly not only is it very highly digestible, most of it gets digested. So that's why you don't really have a problem with bloat. Now, unless you're feeding 2-3 times a day, yeah, sure, you can still have that problem. But if you feed every other day, it's never an issue. I call them Booner, Tommy. I call them Booners, Mabuna. I guess the correct pronunciation is Mabuna. But I don't know. I just change it up all the time. I can't never get it right. Mabuna. So I just say Mabooners. Mabooners. John says the co-op food in question is some of the highest protein I've seen for barbs. Would be poop powder. What's the protein in it? It's like, I can't remember. I know you read it off. What's the percentage of protein in that co-op fry food? I'm just going to call it. Well, if it's a powder form, wouldn't it be a fry food? But I know co-op makes their own fry food. Comes in like one of those ketchup squeezy bottles. Which, by the way, pro tip: after I was done with that, I entirely cleaned it out, washed it out, and you put a vinegar label on it. It's great for putting vinegar on your spinach or your fish or wherever you like it, maybe your French fries. Jose, good morning. Good to see you, buddy. Appreciate you coming in. Having a good conversation about food and what you should and should not feed certain fish based on the label on the container. John says saying something is digestible to fish is a broad approach. Different fish can't process different. Well, the same exactly. I mean, that can be rang true in humans too. You know, a lot of people can't digest dairy or corn. I don't think most people can digest corn. Comes out the other end. So, yeah, it's the same in humans. So to say it's highly digestible in all fish, absolutely, you can't say that, but I didn't say that. I was saying that it's a more highly digested protein, so the fish that can digest it will digest it a lot quicker and most of it. Tommy said, Mabuna, the hum of the Mabuna. Let's argue about it for an hour. I got you, Tommy. Mabuna Matata. Let's see here. Tommy says we as humans don't digest fiber. That's why it comes out the same way. Well, you got it, sir. Dairy. A lot of people can't handle dairy. John says it should be a fry food, but they don't market it that way. I don't remember exact number. It was in the 50s. Wow, that would be the highest protein I've ever seen in a food. That is high. Yeah, I'm curious about that though. I wonder why that they would make a powder food, which is basically a fry food for very small. What do you? And they can't even market it as a breeding food or something like that, because a powder food is a powder food and it's designed to fry and raise babies, right? Kind of confused where they were going with that. Allison says my club just had a speaker on barbs. They apparently do not have the same digestive system as typical aquarium fish. A diet that moves through system quickly to prevent bloating. Oh, that's interesting, Allison, and it's neat. So then that only confirms what I was saying with my experience with them, because I found you got to be careful with it. Like I was saying, they will get bloat. So I'm glad you were able to kind of confirm that for me. I love that kind of information, Allison. Wish you came in these streams more often and we talk about more things like that. Word of the wise, don't snort it. Yeah. Excuse me. My little cockatiel, my little buddy's calling me. What's Jose doing? What do you say? Water maintenance day, plant day. We'll be listening. All right, Jose, buddy. Appreciate you. Yeah, that was always something that always something I was always thinking about in my head. Every time of course, it always comes when I'm feeding my fish. Why can't I feed my goldfish? Now, I will feed my goldfish my veggie mix, alternate between the goldfish food that I have for them. But what is it in goldfish food that is specific for goldfish that no other fish can have? Can anybody tell me that? Brent says too much protein in Skiffia is also known to lead to birth defects in the offspring. Okay. This is great information. John says it's lower protein. Well, let me go grab the Northfin goldfish real quick and read the label. See what the protein is. Well, the problem is I don't have the actual, because I take my stuff out and put it in containers like we've discussed. But as you can see, this is the label from when I had Extreme Aquatics goldfish food. Let's see the protein in this. The crude protein in Extreme Aquatics goldfish food is 38%. In this food is krill meal, shrimp meal, squid meal, pea protein, rice flour, rice bran, wheat starch. So 38% protein in Extreme Aquatics goldfish pellets. Would we not think that 38% protein is on the higher end? I wonder if it's based on the type of protein, such as the difference between organ meat protein and bug protein. Bug protein we can't digest. but I bet the fish have a way of absorbing the bug. Okay. What Branton agrees with Tommy. It does, yeah, yeah. Well, maybe it makes sense. Branton says not all protein sources are equal. Very good point, Tommy. Jose says, Alicia, did they say what type of stuff to avoid? Um, Many or most never have issues with bloodworms. Since I stopped, I have not had an issue like bloat and discus and some other among us. Yeah, I don't feed a lot of bloodworms. I used to do it periodically. I don't feed frozen. I don't feed a lot of frozen foods, period. John says 38 is typically where goldfish food would be. A good tropical is normally in the upper 40s. Okay. Tommy says like a cheetah protein from brown crickets is different. Okay. So how many different proteins do we have? In the human, we've got soy, we got whey, right? That's for humans. Soy protein, whey protein. I'm sure there's others that I'm not mentioning that I don't know, but you know, when we're talking fish food, how many different proteins? Does protein change based on what form it's coming from? Bugs, crickets, pellet food, marine proteins. I mean, so depending on where it comes is when we need to adjust how much we put in a fish food. Jose says, I figure that since there is so many foods out there with a greater nutritional value than bloodworms, a number of people have reported issues as well. I have, coincidence or not. I guess also the potential is there to introduce bacteria you don't want with frozen foods. Now, a lot of people feed frozen food solely and they don't have an issue. I guess it depends. I don't know. King of DIY will go to the store and buy mollusks and shrimp, big ones, and feed them to his piranhas. Tommy says, protein is different based on the structure of the body and its purpose. Right, because nothing's ever going to be the same. Tommy says whey is a dairy protein. Okay. Protein is different on the structure of the body and its purpose. I got to think about that. Protein is different based on the structure of the body and its purpose. So for every living thing on this earth, the protein type, style, in amount is different. So you're telling me with every biological living thing on this earth, the protein is different in all of them. There's not just like, say, for example, 4 different kinds of proteins with different amounts. You're saying there's millions of different proteins. Grant says comparatively, it's like protein from ribeye would be different from protein from nuts, right? Mostly. Okay. So the only difference in goldfish food is it has a lower protein in it. Protein says the protein to birth issues relation in Scyphia is interesting. My Scyphia doesn't start breeding until I increase their protein. I need to research more. What is a Scyphia? Okay, I see it. Scyphia is a genus of the goodid fish. It contains 4 species endemic to the mesocentral area of west central Mexico. They are restricted in the Lerma Grande de Santiago, Ameca, and Grande de Morelia river basins, including lakes Chapela, and whatever those two are. What a pretty looking fish, though. So they're related to the goodid family. John was on top of that. Tommy says there are hundreds of thousands of different protein types. Okay. They on Kara's list. Yep, they are a good eat. Skiffia. So, okay, then why, like John here saying the opposite of what Branton was saying, he had to add more protein to get them to breed. And Branton saying don't give them too much protein because in that particular fish they're too sensitive to it. Tommy says, you know, the Xenotaka, right? Slimmer Xenotaka, right, Jesse? Similar to the eye. I think I've heard of that. I'm just going to say I don't know what you're talking about. I'm looking at it right now, Tommy. It's a genus fish of the Goodie family as well, from Mexico. I see it. A little bit different looking than the Skiffia. John says, I'm not disagreeing. I'm maybe doing something wrong, but I didn't know better. Mine started partying. Right. But that's my point. Do we really need to have fish-specific food for different fish? Because we all know nothing is exactly the same. We are all different. Even twins born at birth are different. They have different fingerprints. Their genetic code is different. So, and then you see where Branton says he's got to be careful how much he feeds his Skippia protein, or it's going to be an issue where, in John's experience, he had to give them more protein as a what's the word I'm looking for? Experiment. And when he did that, they started breeding. They wouldn't breed before they gave them more proteins. Now, he's not sure if that's the case or that's what happened, but when he changed it, they started breeding. If you bought Skiffia from a Florida farm and you bought Skiffia from an Ohio farm, are the Florida Skiffia more sensitive to protein than the ones in Ohio? Are Skiffia really that sensitive to protein? All of them? I'm just asking. Tommy says body of them, not the color. Allison says not specifically Joy. From what our speaker commented, they're constantly feeding in nature. Food is processed in their large intestines as they have no true stomach, or hence lack of stomach acids. Okay. So what you're saying, Allison, is when tiger barbs eat, it's just kind of going in. The body is absorbing the nutrients from the food, but it just goes straight back out. There's nothing physically in the fish that crushes or digests the food. Tommy says, I think most of us are convinced that live food really helps with, which definitely increases the protein amounts. Okay. Brandon says, no, you don't need specific branded foods for fish. You need to specific dietary needs for specific fish and turn catering their diet to suit their needs. Well, wouldn't it be the same thing, Brandon, as feeding them that fish specific food? You're saying you don't need a specific brand of food, fish foods. I'm assuming you mean blood parrots, for example, Hikari's super blood pellets, or super red, or whatever it's called, which is solely designed to help their coloration. There's cayenne pepper in it. At any point, when in nature do you see cayenne pepper in bugs or other fish? But they're putting cayenne pepper in fish foods to enhance color. That's not natural. Aquatic Moose, good to see you. He says, I don't know. I've heard betas need to only eat protein and digest plant matter, but that info came from a goofball. I don't know who the goofball is. They say, feeding bloodworms to, I think it was Father Fish who said, if you feed bloodworms to a beta once a day, you're going to see a very happy beta. I watched that a while back. Skiffy are not farmed. Okay. I got you. But I didn't know that. So you gave me some good information, but I was just saying the farm thing as an example to try to make you understand that, like, even though this Skiffy is here and this Skiffy is here, are they exactly the same? Can one handle protein more than the other? Because everybody's different. John says, I shouldn't eat quarter pounders every day, and I will likely die younger and have health issues, but it makes me happier. Exactly. That's a good point, John. I mean, what is the number one cause of death in middle-aged white men? Heart disease. One of the reasons is once we started getting every food at any time, anywhere, anytime you wanted it. So now we got more guys going in for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, swinging through the drive-through and eating quarter pounders every day. It's going to contribute to heart disease over time. That and among other things. Tommy, damn it. Tommy says, all my fish eat the same purchased food except for my archers and geos. The archers and geos eat slow sinking pellets. So the archers have time to hunt the morsels down. Right. Because that's what they do. But there's no difference in the food except that it just sinks slower, right? John says there's also a debate if all Scyphia multipunctata are some species. Mine are heavily thought to be separate species, so that may be a thing too. Right. Definitely have a play in it. Hey, Jody P, good to see you. Appreciate you coming in. Other than that, it's live food or whatever bucket o food is for sale at the time. I like that bucket o food. Now, since I don't think many, if any, goodies are farmed, long gestation periods and not many young in most cases. Okay, how long do they live? I could look it up. I still have it here, but I want to ask you guys, how long do the Skiffia live? What's the life expectancy of one? Wikipedia says, this is not going to give me the information I'm looking for. How long do they live? How big do they get? They look like they get to about the size. Well, I'll tell you what they remind me of, apart from the color, is the Ember Tetra. That's what they remind me. I'm just looking at the pictures I have in front of me without being ember colored. Grant says it's like buying aquarium specific substrate or buying play sand from the Menards. It's like buying aquarium specific substrate or buying play sand from Menards. Your Menards is like my Tractor Supply. I see the analogy you're going with there. Thank you, Tim. Hit that like button for sure. The more you like it, the more you interact, the more YouTube likes it and throws it out. Tommy says we should have a jar of Daphnia, Artemia, and Skeeter larvae. Mm-hmm. These are all bugs. Daphnia, I need to get some more Daphnia. I used to feed that. That is an awesome. They also call it the water fleas. Aquatic moose, the color of fish come from certain nutrients in their wild diet. So it makes sense to substitute that nutrient in processed foods. But does cayenne pepper fall in that category, aquatic moose? Hey, Wally, good to see you, buddy. Appreciate you coming in. Good Eats. Aquatic Moose says good Eats generally have 5 to 6 years, but slowly stop reproducing after about 2 years. Whip says, I think animals are as a whole are opportunistic and eat whatever is available in the wild. Mother Nature is a bitch and life is hard to eat. Yeah, I mean, there's also that. I mean, sometimes you got to get what you get. Whip, that's the realest thing anyone's ever said. Like deer will eat birds when they get a cheek. Yeah, I mean, they got to eat. You're hungry. When your belly's hungry and there's nothing to eat, your body's going to do it. Whether you like it or not, you're going to eat bark off of a tree if you're hungry enough and you're stranded. Allison says, I only feed bloodworms to Tanganyika substrate spawners, CA and SA cichlids, Cories, meat-eating plecos, Pseudodontis, West African cichlids, etc. Never feed them to Mabuna tropheus. Yeah, me either. But they certainly like them. John says, Scyphia francesca are smallest of the goodies. I spelled the name wrong, but they get about 1.5 inches. Multipunctata get a little bigger. Okay. Tommy says, Daphnia is free if you have a slow-moving creek or even better, a pond with lots of leaves. Well, yeah, I might be able to get that up back here in the woods. They have like it's not really a pond, but during the summer when it rains, it collects. It's kind of like a stagnant pond. A lot of mosquitoes coming off of that bad boy. Aquatic Moose says, cayenne pepper likely has the same color enhancing things as shrimp or krill. Probably. Tim says, get what you get and don't pitch a fit. That's right, Slim Tim. Pea puffers love Daphnia as well. Wally says, I got my dreamfish on Thursday as a gift for my birthday from family. They got me 4 clown loaches. Luckily, I had quarantine tank open. Awesome, Wally. That's good to hear. Very cool. What's the temperature over there in Africa, Wally? Tommy says it's exercise. The puffer's getting to chase them around as well. The puffer's chasing them around for exercise. Yeah. Aquatic Moose says Fishery does a whole episode on nutrients that promote color. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm sure there's lots of those out there. For sure. We can read all the research, do all the research we want, but I like talking to people on the fly. Pardon the pun. Everyone in here in this chat right now, we're having this discussion. We're putting our minds to work, and we're basing off of experience and some things we've probably read. But the fact that you don't have Google in front of you right now to read off a passage, I think makes for a lot better conversation. Whipworld says, I feed Hikari brand frozen bloodworms and brine shrimp every other day. 2 cubes thawed and dumped. The fish that like it, eat it. And the ones that don't. Right. But that's because your fish are well fed, Whip. Let's say you didn't feed your fish for a week and you put them in there. I bet you they all eat it. For sure. Yeah. But I get what you guys are saying. And I love that information Allison came in with about tiger barbs. But I am the resident tiger barb expert, Allison. So whoever was giving that talk, he probably got his information from me. Just kidding. I can't even get them to breed. Quark Moose says, Whip, that does remind me that people say Bolivian rams will have digestive issues if you feed them too many bloodworms. Allison says, I recently acquired a bunch of live glass worms, which are a larvae of midgefly. They are collected from a lake in North Michigan. I have not seen them since. I don't know what SFBB is. Stop carrying them in frozen cubes. Wally says, well, it's 30 degrees Celsius. Hey, Google, what's 30 degrees Celsius in Fahrenheit?
30 degrees Celsius is equal to 86 degrees Fahrenheit.
86 degrees. That's hot, brother. Tommy says archers are supposedly a hard one when it comes to selecting food. Mine eat everything in the tank they can fit in their mouth. They spit all day. That'd be neat. Do you get water all over everything, Tommy? Do you get water on your walls and all over the floor? John says I feed most of my tanks the same stuff, but it's a wide variety in a mix. I figure I'll give some junk food, make them eat their veggies. I figure in the wild they get exposed to various stuff. Oh yeah, it's always good to vary your fish diet. That's just common sense. Do we eat everything the same thing? If I could eat pizza every day, I'd be happy. But is that good for me? No, you need to change the variety of your diet, and definitely for your fish. And that's what I definitely do. Now with Northfin Foods, I've always said that you can just feed that food solely across all the varieties because it has all the nutrition. Northfin Food, pound for pound, has more high quality ingredients in their fish food than anybody else. There's like 6 or 7 or 8 in the list. Everyone else has maybe 3, 4, 5. But it's still good to always vary your fish's food diet because not any one of them have it down to a science. You need to change it up, and everything's different. Whipworld says perhaps that's why I struggle with rams and moose. Maybe I'd like to get me some of those German rams. Wally says I'm in Johannesburg, South Africa. That's cool. Product Moose says, Jesse, if you change the toppings of your pizza, you might get by. That's true, Moose. I don't have to change the product. I just have to change the toppings on top of it. My 3 favorite foods, and let me know your guys. What are your guys' favorite foods? Your 3 favorite foods. Mine, top to bottom, pizza, cheeseburgers, and third on that list would be tacos and burritos. That's in order. Well, I do have to throw steak in there. So I would have to say pizza, burgers, steak, and then tacos and burritos. I love my good medium rare steak. Tommy says, it gets on the floor, but I have waterproof wood flooring. I'll step in a wet spot maybe 3 to 5 times. That's neat. I just think I've seen videos of them doing that. Archer fish are neat. If anybody doesn't know, they squirt that water. They take their super soaker and they squirt the water to get flies. You talk about aim. Mr. Miyagi, eat your heart out. He got flies with a chopstick. These guys are shooting flies out of the sky with a water streak. Whipworld says steak, king crab legs, for fried chicken. Okay. Brent says chicken wings, pizza, and bacon. Everybody's going to get hungry now. Quark Moose says, Whip, it could be. I don't think their digestive systems are built for it. It could also be the water. I know Bolivian rams are more hardy than German. Also, they like to sift in the sand in the wild for finer foods. Tommy says, yep, like a water gun. Sometimes they shoot us at the table. That'd be funny. John says, funny, the only burgers my fish will eat are soy. Oh, boy. John's feeding his fish burgers. Slim Tim likes lasagna, pizza, and steak. Okay. Pizza seems to be a common denominator. It's a big one, but not every. Like we have choose steak, king crab legs, and fried chicken. Tommy says, you get them hipster fish. Although I'm not seeing tacos. No, I don't. I hate that, Moose. I don't know why people do that. I hate it. I do not fold my pizza in half. I eat it like it is. Because pizza has the whole food. You're right. It does have all 4 food groups. Hey, Bipolar Fish Keeper. Good to see you. We're just discussing everyone's favorite food. We had some good conversation already. You missed it. You can go back and watch it later. Very good conversation about fish food, which bled into what are your actual favorite foods you like to eat? Because here on this channel, we talk about a little bit of everything. Bushroll says, Moose, my problem is that the tank is that there are a couple of fish that seem to only eat bloodworms, and there's no way to target feed them. Oh yeah, thin crust pizza is good. I like thin crust, but I also like Pizza Hut stuffed crust. That's very good. Not a fan of what is it? Is it little? I think Little Caesars is okay. What's the one? It's like $5 a pizza. What used to be $5 a pizza. What's the one that makes that pizza crust with like pretzel crust and salt? Who makes that one? Cheap pizza. It's terrible. Tommy likes barbecue tacos, and there's her taco ones and casseroles. That's his favorites. Pizza is like a sandwich. You can put anything on it for your taste. That's right. Quack Moose says he had to separate his fish for the same reason. Same one when he was spawning his cribs. Tim says stuffed crust Branton is better. Whip says I could separate them, I suppose, but I don't have the tank space at the time. Little Caesars makes that pretzel crust. Yeah, terrible. I'm not a fan of Little Caesars. Yeah, you got it, bipolar. Yeah, Brandon. Little Caesars, not a fan. Nelson says I don't eat fatty, so fried and cheesy foods anymore. Paying for eating crap for 50 years. Yeah, I hear you. And, I would say, Allison, that, you only have one life. Enjoy it while you're here. Any one of us could die tomorrow in a car crash. When you die and you look down at your life, you're going to be pissed off that you did not eat fried chicken or you didn't eat that piece of pizza, but you've already got 50 years of it. So you've had to change it up. I'm assuming due to health reasons, but everything in moderation. Like my father-in-law drinks 20 cups a day of coffee a day. Coffee is good for you. If it's black coffee and there's no creamer and none of the bull crap added, it's actually got health benefits. I can't do it because it gives me reflux. I have to have creamer. But I also only drink maybe 3 cups of coffee a day. Morning, after dinner, and on the weekends, I'll throw another one in at some point. But everything in moderation. You can do anything you want in moderation. Chocolate is good for you in moderation. Tommy says, I'll eat a casserole from a stranger on the street. Clark Moose says, Whip, come think of it. Maybe you could feed sinking foods for the Rams first and then feed the blood and they'll float on top, right? And then go up and get them while the other fish are busy down below. Brent says, Little Caesar crazy bread is phenomenal. Okay. Whip says, before I had to stop eating bread, pizza was my top 5 food group. She says, I used to love pizza, but I don't care for it now. It each their own. I mean, like my wife doesn't like peanut butter. Unless you're allergic to it, who the heck cannot like peanut butter? It's delicious. Bipolar says, my favorite is bacon, cheeseburger, and fries. That sounds amazing. Tommy says, Gross Moose, I draw the line at casseroles. Even if it's on the ground, I'll turn my 4-wheeler, drive back, and lick it clean. P-Tech says, there's a certain type of coffee that I drink that actually supports brain power and easier on the stomach with natural ingredients. Okay. Text me a picture of it, P-Tag, if you don't mind. Brant, those cheesy garlic bread is good too. Clark Mrs. Tommy, favorite casserole. Tommy, what is your favorite casserole? Let me tell you something. My son, his wife, makes an amazing, it's a casserole. It has got to be one of the best casseroles I ever had in my life. I'm trying to get her to come over here to make it. It's a cheeseburger casserole. Tater tots, burger, pickle, puts it all in a casserole dish, and you top it with French dressing. Oh my God, I've had dreams about it. Bipolar says, peanut butter is amazing. It is, and it's good for you. Love peanut butter. Now, there's a caveat to that. I like creamy Jif peanut butter. I also like your natural peanut butters that are a little more tacky, where the oil sits on top, and you got to mix it up. That's better, even better for you. But I do not like crunchy peanut butter. Agreed, Tommy. Go to Little Caesars for everything but pizza. Pizza Egg says, who doesn't like peanut butter? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't. My wife, she don't like peanut butter. I mean, there's got to be something wrong with you. You're broke. You need to get your mind fixed. You got to get right with Jesus. If you don't like peanut, Jesus invented peanut butter. You're supposed to eat it. Alice says, I started drinking coffee again on the advice of my GI doc. Have some liver benefits. Only 1 cup a day. Now, is that black coffee, Allison, or do you add creamer? Whip says, while at college, my roommate and I would get would get high and eat Domino's pizza every night. We used to stick to the box tops, to the walls, and the ceiling to around space. That's fun. I think Domino's pizza is horrible. And I hate that little butter garlic cup you get. It's a heart attack in a cup, and it tastes like crap. But if you like it, Whip, that's fine. Aquatic Mood says, I like cheesy mushroom. Chicken green bean casserole. That sounds good. I'm not a picky eater, by the way. I will eat anything. I can name the things I don't like on one hand. Peas. I can't stand a pea. That is from the devil's loins itself. It's a horrible, horrible vegetable. It tastes like crap. I hate it. I don't like cooked carrots. I like raw carrots, but I hate cooked carrots. I don't like liver. I don't like anchovies. And I absolutely hate the papaya. Peanut butter. Cecil likes his Peter Pan peanut butter. Say that 3 times fast. Tommy says, "Whoa, man, all them chicken and rice pastas. I can't even say that. Throw in the fridge and the cornbread, you name it. Crunchy or get out of here." I like my crunchy foods. Aquatic Moose says, "Whip, I wish I went to college with you. we would have been homies." Whip says, "Now I have a special place in my heart for Domino's, even though it's not good." I got you, Whip. Jody P says, "Missed a bunch. Just stopped the dogs from getting sprayed by another skunk. Too bad they don't learn." That's terrible, Jody P. My advice, Jody P, don't get rid of the smell. Next time they get sprayed by a skunk, that's nature. I want you to bask in the smell. I want you to bask in the odor. I want you to roll around with your dogs. I want you to get the scent all over you and just soak in. The skunk spray has probably got some major health benefits, not to the nose, but to the body and the skin. So just don't worry about it. Just live with it. You know what I mean? John says, Jif peanut butter is the best for you. You can't find it anymore. Jiffy peanut butter is the best for you. What are you talking about? I got some in the cabinet, John. That's all I buy, Jif. Also, honey. I love my honey. My 100% organic raw honey. Or not organic, 100% raw honey. Oh, my God. Moose says, Jody, your dogs love them skunks and probably the smell too. They're just dumb, Moose. Tommy says, cheap food pizza-ish. CC's apple dessert pizza. Moose says, Skiffy a peanut butter on my butter or get out of here. Ew, Skiffy a peanut butter. Ew. P-Tag says, I text you a couple screenshots of the 2 coffees I'm using back and forth. All right, thanks, P-Tag. Bipolar says, I agree with all of that except for the papaya. Yeah, okay, Bipolar. Yeah, peas are terrible. Jody, you need to have a serious situation down conversation with them. Yeah, you need to have a conversation. Allison says, I add stevia and a small amount of 0% fat milk coffee. Free. Okay. Manana. Okay. Jody says, for F's sakes, Jesse, I think I'll pass on basking. Allison says, yeah, Whip, my college served such crappy dinners we would order from the local pizzeria. Mostly chicken and meatball parm subs. Subs. John says, not Jiffy. There's a conspiracy theory about Jiffy. Now, what are you talking about? I didn't know there was a Jif and a Jiffy. Whips World says, food should not touch, not ever, anything served where the foods are mixed. Oh, I got a pop-up when I was reading that. Food should not touch, not ever. Anything served where the foods are mixed should be forbidden, period. And I'll say it right to your face. Well, Whip, I'll tell you what. So you're big on those plates that have the dividers so you can separate all your foods so you can ensure it, right? And I know this. I got some people in my life that are the same way, but it's never made sense to me. I will mix my foods. For example, if my wife makes rice or noodles, I'll mix them with my spinach or my green beans or my broccoli, sometimes chop them up. Because guess what? They all go to the same place inside, sir. And they get mixed up inside you. Jody P says, I use no salt, no sugar, peanut. I use no salt, no sugar peanut butter. What? Okay. My problem with that is it's got to taste like crap. You know, we all know anything that's delicious is either immoral, taste is immoral or bad for you, and it has a lot of sugar, a lot of fats. That's what makes things delicious. If it's good for you, apart from yogurt is a pretty good food for you, and it's still good, unless it's Greek yogurt. That stuff's terrible. But that doesn't sound good, Jody P. That sounds like what if you're going to take the salt and the sugar out of peanut butter, what's the point of eating peanut butter? Brent says, ever eaten turkey testicles, Jesse? We have a turkey festival every year, not far from me. Whip may have gone a time or two. No, sir, I haven't. I've had water buffalo and bear. But no, I haven't had testicles anything. I'm thinking about chopping mine off because I'm tired of them getting hurt. So very anti-testicle. There's only one good thing that they are good for, and that's scratching. Sorry if I offended anybody there. Sit down, not situation down. Alice says, I'm okay with peas and cooked carrots in a shepherd's pie. Shepherd's pies are good. Tommy says, and I'd rather slather on peanut butter. Wait, and I slather on the peanut butter with every little jelly and PB&J. Oh yeah, PB&Js. Yes, hit the like. Thanks again, Tim. Tim always supporting the like button. I appreciate that. You got to like. You got to like. You got to like. You got to like. And if you don't like this or like my videos, then fuck you. Oh, if you guys didn't notice, I have an FU series mug out now that you can get on my Teespring store if you're interested. Check it out. You might like it. Okay, let's see. Whips World says that's just wrong, Jesse. Wrong, wrong, wrong. God have mercy on your soul. Whoops. Tommy says, you know that saying for food. Wait a minute. You know the saying for food. The cuter it is, the better it tastes. Oh boy. She says, Whips, I mix my food too. How was bear? It was if I remember, let me think. If I remember right, man, it was very dry. Now that could have been just how it was made, but the one I had, and it was the same with the water buffalo. It was very dry, which I hate meats that are dry. I don't like it. If I get dry meat, I don't care what it is. I have to dip it in something, whether it's steak or ranch. It's going to be one of the two. If it's dry, I can't stand dry meats. I hate it. Grant says black bear is delicious, Tommy. Thought about selling Lefty to Science. Make a little money, Tim. Jake says my brother had a horse once. He loved it till his buddy told him what it was. Oh man. See, I've never had snake. I've never had crocodile. Brent says very fatty like cows, surprisingly. It's Tommy says its own flavor complex, or is it like moose? Hey, Shirley, good to see you. Missing a lot of good conversations. This has been a great live stream so far. We are just now 59 minutes live. We had some really good conversation here. Really good conversation about the fish keeping hobby and fish food. And now we're talking some really cool and entertaining information and about food. So, Shirley, you're just coming in. What is your top 3 favorite foods in order, 1 to 3? As it says, you are streaming today. Crappy weather on the way. So yeah, you know, same here. And it's cold out and rainy. Like the wind's blowing, so that makes it even colder. Tommy says, I've had water buffalo. We have a butcher here local. Yeah, it should be dry, no meat except jerky. Yeah, I agree with that 100%. Gator's delicious. I don't know. If you guys, any of you guys make jerky, You guys are from all over parts of the world. If any of you guys make a delicious jerky and you can, send me some. I'd love to try it. Which World says, I might have had bear, definitely moose, but our not our moose here, but the wild ones. I've eaten brains and tongue. Never had brains, never had tongues. Another thing I can't bring myself to eat. You see it in the stores, pig's feet. What is the purpose behind pig's feet? Can anybody tell me that? P-Tech says we're all hungry. Alice said had alligator bites, not bad. Ooh. Morning. Little buddy's got fresh food and water. Huh? Oh boy. Bring that in here. So my Quaker parrot keeps dropping eggs periodically. She hasn't done it a long time, but this week she's dropped 2. Of course, there's nothing in it.
Yes, there is. It's leaking.
Well, it's leaking. There's yolk in it, but my little Quaker parrot keeps dropping these. My wife's Quaker parrot keeps dropping these little eggs. Of course, they fall down and hit the bottom of the cage and crack open, but that's the second one this week. They can't see her. There. And there she is right there. And she is a spicy bitch. I'll set the show when you're ready. You're brave. This is Kiko. Hey. Tom says, Jesse, my local feed store has been selling the same local jerky. Take this, woman. Oh. Jesse, my local feed store has been selling the same local jerky since was a boy. Great stuff. I love jerky. So if anybody has some awesome jerky or any foods like that, and you want to send them to me, and we'll eat them on live streams and talk about them, review them, and rate them. I'd love to get into things like that. And I like to bring all kinds of different things to my live streams to break it up and make them different. So, I mean, if you guys can send me foods of different things I've never heard of that you'd like to see me try, I'm up for things like that. Now, I can't do spicy, just so, you know, if this becomes a thing. If not, that's fine too. But I can't do spicy foods. I do have Crohn's disease, and spicy food does not agree with me. So I can't be like Rico Stan. Oh. Tim says, I'm a bowl of s'more cereal. So Brandon says pig's feet is just a poor man's food from back in the day when they ate everything off an animal. Okay. Makes sense. I didn't know there was anything special about it or what. As I said, I had them years ago when I deep fried stuff. So deep fried stuff I can't do. I love deep fried foods, but my body doesn't. It instantly makes me gassy, makes me feel like crap and weighed down, and I get belly aches. We don't eat fried foods here. Now we do have an air fryer, and we can air fry foods. Not as good because I can't grease it up and all that freaking oil and make it all crappy, but definitely better for you. Feed the egg to your fish for good protein, Branton says. Woman, I'm left here holding this egg. There's a jerky shop near me, stuff like snapping turtles, thresher shark. They're not cheap. Okay. Brooks World said, I wouldn't eat dog or horse on a principle. And I'd be hulk stout pissed if someone tricked me into, oh God, yeah. I agree with that, Whip. And what Brant said about the pig's feet, some of the lesser cuts for heathens and slaves turned out to be better than some of the prime cuts. Okay. Quite Mr. Jesse, eat the egg for the protein. Ew. Whips World says, I might be convinced to try cat, though. Hey. Now listen, Whip. I like cats too, dang it. I like the Pewskit. You got cat people all over, Whip. You better be careful. Woman. Hold on. I'll be back. God's sakes. By the way, I won't golf for food. I'm not a big fan of golf. It's just a free shirt that has air conditioning. Have you guys ever seen a shirt that has air conditioning? Let me know, and then I'll show you. Appreciate the stop sign, Tim. Appreciate you, sir. Jody P. Are you still in here, Jody P? Yeah, there she is. By the way, I sent your package out. You should be getting it from the Discord event win. Cows are super cute and sweet, and they also taste great. Tony says, I'll probably try cat, Arctic and Antarctic voyages back in the day. They're sled dogs. John says, lots of questionable foods like pig's feet and even ribs date back to the slavery or just improvised areas where good cuts were not available. They turned a stone into a gem. Tommy says, oh, and cheek meats make the best tacos. Slim Tim says, I eat a cat 2-3 times a week. Man, Tim coming in with that's clever, Tim. Oh man, bipolar, that sucks. Cecil says, Whip, if you have ever ate Chinese food, you probably have ate cat before. Oh boy. Brent says pork cow tacos, nothing better. Jody P says, no, thank you, Jody P. I think you'll like it. I based it on some of the fish you have. So, but again, like we were discussing in this live stream, any Northern food that I would send you will work for your fish. It just comes down to size at that point. So, but I sent you 2 of the favorite Northern foods. That's what I sent you. Moose says, honestly, there are too many cats in the world and they're wreaking havoc on the ecosystems. Really? I didn't know that. I didn't know cats were wreaking havoc on the ecosystem. Never heard that, actually. Where are you getting that statistic? Allison says, I miss lobster, crab, shrimp. Became allergic to crustaceans in my 20s. I used scuba for lobster. Man, Allison's done some cool things. Hey, Mel, good to see you. Mel, if you're just coming in, we're talking about a lot of awesome things. Right now, we're discussing food. What is your top 3 favorite foods from 1 to 3? Shirley still hasn't answered, I don't think. Has she answered yet? Shirley, have you given us your top 3 favorite foods? Did I miss that? I need to know, if you don't mind. Jody Pierce says, when I was a CMA intern, I got to sit on the colonoscopy procedures for Crohn's and the colon books. Looks like ground hamburger. Crohn's and the colon looks like ground. Yeah. I was diagnosed with Crohn's disease in 2010. They thought it was my appendix. They took it out, didn't fix the problem. Although they said my appendix was inflamed, the problem with my doctor at the time said that's impossible because you've been having issues for weeks now. At this point, it should have bursted. What was happening is my immune system's so strong that my appendix would flame up and my immune system would die back down, and that's why it never exploded. But they took it out, and I was still having an issue. I was rolling on the floor in pain. I actually had pictures of the before and after. I had severe Crohn's disease in my upper, middle, colon, and intestines. And the first fix was a pill called Asacol pills. I called them Asahol pills, and it worked, and it kept me in remission until the day I had chicken buffalo dip, where I made it and I used Frank's Red Hot. It took me out of remission. And at that point, they had to put me on Humira. I've been on Humira ever since, years. I'm in remission. I'm fine. It's good. I'm actually due to go in for a colonoscopy. I'm overdue for it. I need to get it scheduled and keep on top of it. But recently, because of the cost of Humira, because it was anywhere, I would receive 6 shots a month supply because I had to take a 40 milligram pen every 2 weeks. You just clean the area, stick yourself. I've been doing that for years, over a decade. And, well, recently, because I'm assuming the insurance companies don't want to pay for it anymore, because it was like $6,000 to $8,000 every time I got sent these shots, but it was all covered. I have good insurance. Everything was covered. I didn't pay a dime. But now they changed it to this new one, which is basically the same medication. However, it's a little bit different. It's cheaper. It's designed a little bit different, and I'm on that now. I've been doing that for a little while. Seem to be okay. Don't seem to be having any problems. Yeah, Crohn's disease is a bad deal. Like, but the inside of my intestines look black. After treatment, they were pink. I absolutely hate the process of getting a colonoscopy. It was by far worse years ago than it is now. You have to drink used to be you had to drink a whole gallon of that white chalky crap that goes in there and basically used to illuminate the inside so they can see. And then you had to take these Ducalex pills that further cleaned you out. And then you had to go in. If you didn't finish this solution in time for your procedure, you had to finish it. And then when you was done, you had to reschedule. Now it's not as bad. Now they just give you like this little mix of stuff. You drink it, you take the pills, you go in, you're good to go. But I definitely need to get back to it. Clark Moose says cats are the number one invasive species that have caused many small animal extinctions just for the fun of the hunt. Okay, that makes sense. Cats love the hunt. They love the chase. Jody says steak, top 3. Oh boy, that's cool. Rats are bad invasives too when it comes to places with ground nesting species. Yeah, they can multiply very fast. That's why we need cats. Contradicting yourself. Sure says I don't have any favorite foods. Maybe a good steak, a good ham sandwich, a deer chili. They actually may not be my favorites. That's just all I can think of. Okay. Whip says cats are the devil's spawn, except my cats. They're sweet little cutie pies. So Whip don't like cats, but he has cats. That's like saying I use hairspray, but I hate it. Brandon's got to run, getting ready for the kiddos. All right, buddy. Be safe. Have a good trip. Appreciate you. Yeah, thanks for contributing to the discussion. Clark Moose says inside cats are cool with me. Outdoor cats not so much, especially if they're intact. Oh boy. Hey Rosie, good to see you. Rosie, what's your 3 favorite foods? 1 to 3 in order. Say Moose, keep your effing cats inside. They're horrible for the ecosystem. They meet all the criteria to be an invasive species. Plus, it's not good for them to be outside anyways. Well, it's funny. The only thing I'm going to disagree with you guys about this cat conversation is longer than we've been alive, cats been around. And they've always been outside. Why is it just now a problem? Because people moved in? Why all of a sudden they're cats an invasive species and causing problems when they've been around before us, long before us? Now we come along and it's a problem. You tell me why cats being outside is a bad thing. Allison says, I don't eat solid foods for 2 days before colonoscopy. Oh yeah. Have my 5-year procedure due this year. Yeah, Allison, you can't eat any solid foods. You can't have any dyes. You can have soup broth, right? Water. And the only thing you can eat to satisfy your hunger basically is broth. Jello, but it can't be colored and it can't be. So I know where you're at. Tommy says, yep, bringing conspiracies into this fish. Yep, bringing conspiracies into this fish. Bish, I got you. Cecil says shrimp. Oh, Cecil loves the shrimp. Jesse Real Selects comment. Jesse Real Moose says Jesse Real Select Pets comment. Real what? Because what we call cats are different than wild cats. Supposedly, stray cats outnumber New Yorkers in Central Park. But why is that? Because a bunch of people. Because people are because. Why do in New York the cats outnumber the people? Why do you think that is? Clark Moose says it's just now a problem because we brought extra cats into the world and selectively bred them, and now they're out competing the native cats. Okay, so you're not saying cats are invasive and they're the problem. You're saying certain species of cats are the problem. Read what he say. Just the conspiracy I meant is that cats and the slitted eye comment. Oh, cats aren't native here. Domestic cats is not a natural creature. It was created in the early human histories through hybridization. Oh, okay. But okay. So when was the first cats walking around? Before us. NYC cats control rats and pigeons. Yeah, that's true. Everything serves a purpose. My point here is everything serves a purpose. I hate spiders, but you need them. You need them for the ecosystem. I read, my wife told me not too long ago, they get these new things out, these flying spiders that are highly poisonous. They fly and they're wherever they came from, I don't know, but they can kill you if they bite you. And they've evolved to have wings. How did that happen? Tommy says, I think it was Egyptians selected. Yeah, Egyptians. They talk about cats in the Egyptians' time, ancient Egyptian. Domestic cats. All domestic cats should be indoors. Their habitat, the house. They were outside first, Shirley. Rosie, pizza, Chinese, and ice cream. Whip's world. Humans are the most invasive species on the planet. We have most. You got it, Whip. Here, this is a true. Here's what you need to read. Humans are the most invasive species on the planet. So we have caused more large-scale extinction in a short time. We have been here than any other, including wayward space rocks slamming into our planet. Humans are the problem with everything. They are the root of all evil. They are the root of all problems. We are a cancer to this earth. And if you believe in God, one day we're going to make him mad enough. He's just going to crack the world in half and the world be rid of us. Nature has always been here. Animals aren't a problem. Animals are pure. They don't want nothing to do with anything other than to survive. People, however, we're corrupt. We cause wars because we have brains that can have opinions. We have caused more harm to the earth than anything. Why are there so many cats flocking to New York? Because there's a lot of people throwing their freaking garbage out of the window, being lazy, not cleaning up after themselves, littering. Also, people have animals. They're not responsible and should not have animals. If you have an animal and they have my favorite thing is this. I live in a military town. Every time I get on that next door app, this is what I see. I'm moving. I need someone to take my pet. Is anyone? But I want a small rehoming fee. Really? If you're in the military and you live in Fayetteville, North Carolina, and you're in the military and you know the most you'll probably be here is a year. Why did you set up an aquarium and keep fish? Why did you decide to get a pet dog? Why did you decide to get a pet cat, guinea pig, bunny? The military is going to tell you you need to be moving. You're going to be here for a year and you're going to be moving overseas. Now you got to get rid of this animal. If I can't stand these people. You don't commit. A pet is a commitment. And if you can't commit to its entirety of its life, don't get one. Now I realize there's caveats to that. Sometimes life happens, but most of the time, humans are the problem. It's not the animal, it's the human. We are parasites. You got it. Alice says, feral domesticated cats. I always kept cats indoors. Don't need ticks and fleas. Yeah, exactly. Ticks and fleas are a problem. Sorry, hey, Scotty, you don't have to apologize for being late. Appreciate you coming in, buddy. Shirley says domestic cats did not evolve outside. That was wildcats. Yeah. But they were around before any of us in this chat right here. We took them in and domesticated them. They're not the same as they were before. Exactly. So who's the problem, Shirley? People. Why didn't we leave that cat alone? Why didn't we leave it outdoors? Tommy says, I have farm cats. 2 stay outside, 2 go back and forth. They hunt mice and rats all day. And they're probably happier doing what they're doing than being stuck inside a house. Whip says, if humans disappeared forever, animals would work it out. It wouldn't be pretty, but populations would eventually. Yeah, it would. So there is a balance there, Whip. You're exactly right. Humans have this idea in their mind that we need to we need to help. We need to balance. We have to do this or this is going to happen. This small little piece of plastic that's buried in the ground is going to absolutely destroy the earth. Never mind meteorites that has hit the earth with tons and has hit this earth with more power than nuclear bombs. We're worried about a little piece of plastic. But the world, if left alone, will balance itself. If you're a father fish, regarding adding us into fish keeping, if you're a father fish guy, his whole premises is if you set up an organic, natural dirted tank and let it be plant controlled, put the fish in there, it will balance and run itself. The same thing can be applied to the earth. What do we do in our fish tanks when there's a problem? We eliminate the problem. Sometimes you just need to let nature be nature. Preach it. Preach it. Ironic that cancer is such an issue for us. Yeah, we're a cancer to the earth and we can't beat cancer within us. I fully believe we can. There's no money in curing cancer. Why fix it when there's no money in it? They get all this, big pharma gets all this money because we have to go through the treatments. Again, people, the root of all evil. They will let somebody die from cancer unless you pay me this much money. Then if you pay me this much money, I'll fix you. Or say we tried. There are statements from people that had. I watched this document. I don't know how true this is, but I watched this document one time or heard about this document one time where a guy had terminal cancer. Nothing was working. So he took it upon himself. The guy started eating rotten meat, rotten flesh, meat that was rotting. He ate it. He choked it down. And whatever the bacteria that was in that rotted meat killed his cancer. Now, if it's true, I don't know. I would imagine eating rotting flesh would cause a problem in itself within your body. But what did he have to lose? He had terminal cancer. So he did this. It got rid of the dang cancer. All right, Shirley, see ya. If humans went back outside, we relearn how to be a part of nature again. Yeah, I mean, it's right. What Moose say? Yeah. Aquatic Moose says, but Tommy, it's too hot or cold or buggy out. Tommy says, I'd rather be outside roaming. We got to treat them for fleas and ticks. Well, we've definitely gotten to this has been a little bit of a different live stream. But I don't know about if you guys are enjoying it. It's definitely been a little bit of a live stream, but it's fun to talk about different subjects. Let's see. Tommy says, oh, that's it, Moose. Tommy says, in one of my shows, I spoke of Hunza. I think it said people that have no cancer and have longest lifespans on the planet. And that's referred to as Hunza. How do you say that? Moose says, I don't like that Father Fish is trying to copyright natural aquariums. He's just some guy. I don't like that Father Fish is trying to copyright natural aquariums. Copyright natural. What do you mean? Father Fish is trying to. What do you mean, Moose? What are you talking about? Ray says, I agree about the money. Me too. Through chemical process. Hey, Hog, it's good to see you. How is he trying to copyright? Yeah, I'm trying to. What are you talking about, Moose? I'm gonna head out, Jesse. See you. All right, buddy. See you. P-Tag, be safe. Have a good weekend, my friend. You gonna be live, P-Tag? Hunza, you said you had okay, thanks. I think he was joking when he said that. I just sent Tommy a link. I came across a video from, I believe the channel is Skeptical Aquariums or Skeptical Aquarius or something like that. And his whole premise on Father Fish was he thinks that Father Fish has bots that chat anytime his name's brought up in a live stream to promote interaction, thus, therefore, the algorithm pushing his content more. And Tommy, you're on your phone. I don't know if you still have that link. If you could share it, and I got to make you a mod. There, I made you a mod. Share that link if in the chat if you would, and maybe people could check that out. I don't know if anybody else saw that, but the guy had some interesting points, but I think it's a little crazy. Watch that link Tommy puts in there and let me know your thoughts. Clark Moose said, I don't like that he cancels anyone that disagrees with him so quickly. He really doesn't, Moose. I mean, you're talking about a debate. When you're talking about a debate, if somebody says something and you disagree with it, you have a debate. You have a difference of opinion, and you're going to have that no matter what you do. I don't think he's necessarily canceling people. I just think he's giving people different ideas of and different ways to keep fish. I think when you have a debate, you got two sides. You're either going to agree to disagree at the end, or one person's going to submit. Either way you slice it, you're either speaking from emotion or facts. The people that speak from emotion, 9 times out of 10, are just speaking from emotion. They get mad. But when you start getting mad and over talking to each other, the debate kind of goes to crap. So people got to be willing to sit back and listen and open their ears. When you start over talking and you get into a heated debate, it kind of goes to crap every time, most times. But I could be wrong. I don't know. I'm not keeping up on this stuff. You might know more about it than me. Westworld says more conspiracy here. I'm 100% sure that there's a think tank acting as a human version of nature, and it's not just money. It's a way to keep our numbers down. Okay. Can you imagine the population explosion we'd have if science actually cured fatal diseases? Oh yeah. Being said, we'd have a definite problem with overpopulation, but also though, Whip, people die every day of car accidents, crazy out of the blue accidents, or Darwin Awards. We've all seen the Darwin Awards, people doing stupid things and dying from that. Murders. I think there's enough of that we don't, it's never going to be a problem. Accidents do happen every day, and it's even worse. You got drugs, you got drunk driving, you got accidents. I think that's enough to regulate. Moose says that's the problem with our site. You got it, Moose. Yeah, thank Tommy. Would you guys get a minute? Check that link out that Tommy shared. I don't know if you've seen it. You can watch that. And the guy got a lot of negative comments on that video. According to Jesse, FF doesn't debate. He blocks people that disagree with him instead of debating. Okay, I don't know. My interaction with Father Fish has always been good. But then again, I'm also not going against what he says. I'll ask questions, but he's been on my live streams more than once. I like his theory and the things he comes up with. I've never had a problem with Father Fish. I couldn't make it through 5 minutes of it. I like comment section at the video. I like the comment sections of the video more. Yeah, that me too sometimes, Boost. You and I are in the same. It's fun to just go back and read what people say. John says people generally follow people that say what they want to hear, even if they're giving bad advice or false facts. YouTube in general is a good example. Yeah, exactly. I mean, 100%. Most people are unwilling to learn. People can say they want to learn, but 9 times out of 10, if they have an idea in their head, you couldn't possibly know more than me. So right away, they come into it defensively. We need to come into it more open-mindedly, because I have been in the electrical, mechanical, and hydraulic maintenance and field for a long time. That's what I've been doing for the last 20 years, fixing stuff that breaks, learning schematics, electrical switches, electrical schematics, hydraulic schematics, turning the wrenches, turning the bolts. If I come to you and tell you that if you want to tighten a bolt, you have to turn it to the right, you can come into an argument that maybe fix 3 things in your life. No, there's proof out there that there's reverse thread and you go left to tighten. That is true when you're talking about certain propane tanks, but your average bolt and nut is righty tighty, lefty loosey. But there are people that'll argue with this. I mean, we're not gonna gear this live stream to this, but the fact that anybody in this world would still think that a man can be a woman and a woman can be a man blows my freaking mind. I mean, you've got to be delusional, but we're not going to gear this towards that. I'm enjoying the conversation we're having, but the idea was to just, the mindset of some people today is absolutely insane. But you're right, John. I 100% agree with that. Tommy says that's why we need more folks like you, Select, putting in the good stuff out the good news. That's exactly right. Tommy says I don't like his voice in that link. Yeah, it is a little weird, huh? Oh, he's being funny. I was about to laugh. You two. I was like, all the things to complain about. That really exactly, Tommy. But you know what he's doing? That he's just trying to get views. Hagen says we outright took Father Fish's idea. Okay. So Hagen says we outright took Father Fish's idea and made our own mix, and did a 2-part video of it. Never got hit with a copyright. Instead, he gave us praise and sent us a ton of free plans. I remember that. Tim says little things, Tommy. Nightbot going to work. Okay, John says, Jesse, everyone knows you have to turn everything to the left to tighten. There's a YouTuber with 500,000 subs that says so. If he was wrong, he wouldn't have followers. Exactly, John. Love it. I love the sarcasm. Oh, Shirley Speck. Oh, let's see. Cecil says, calm down, Shirley. Aquatic Moose says, dirted aquariums are older than Father Fish, is all I'm saying. Shirley says, I'm fine. I just came back in for a minute. What did I miss? Shirley say something? If she said something after she said she was leaving, I missed it. Did you say something, Shirley? I don't see. I see where Shirley said, I got a jet. See you guys. And then I don't have anything after that, unless that's just what you're referring to. Yeah, I hope I didn't make you mad in any way, Shirley. We're just talking. Oh, my left eye bar burning. Hey, June, good to see you. I don't think he ever claimed that it was his idea. He just strongly promotes it. Yes. If there is a way to copyright a style of doing a tank, I'm a copyright mine. Yeah, because Tommy, kind of like you, Hoggins, he makes his own compost mix. He doesn't use organic dirt. He uses organic dirt, but it's his own mix. John, my eye is burning. The funny thing is, Father Fish didn't come up with the stuff. He's not even a second and a third, but folks say invented it. Yeah. I'm surprised that you have an issue with trans people. I don't have an issue with trans people. Not at all. If that's what they want to do, that's their business. 100%. All I'm saying is there's male and female. There's no in between. It's biologically impossible. It can never happen. That's all I'm saying. And if you think any other way, you need to take a science class or a biology class. No, but I don't have a problem with trans people. If that's what they want to do, that's their business. Everybody's entitled to do what they want to do. No problem there whatsoever. But I do have a problem with male and female. There's two, male and female, and it can't be any other way. Now, there are some, now let's not confuse that with the people that are born males that have a little bit more estrogen or female tendencies. That's a thing too, but that still doesn't make them a woman. If you're born with male parts, you're a male. If you're born with female parts, you're a female. My fish tank's quite good to see you, buddy. Tommy says, if you use fertilized soil bags, you owe me. June says, the Romans kept fish. It's as old as the hills. Yeah. Yeah, it was neat to see that first aquarium. June says, I need a favor. I need snails for my fajacos. We can't get any. Hawk says, what folks say and what says aren't the same. Right. See you, Shirley. Have a good day. But hold on, Shirley. You can't get mad at me for having an opinion. You cannot get mad at me because I have my opinion on the matter. You can have your opinion and everyone's supposed to conform. But if I have my opinion, you're out and you're mad at me. You cannot be mad at me for having my opinion. That's not how it works. John, so true. Learn every day because I don't know everything or anything. But I fell into the trap. Reading the first article on an arowana, it is said to get 2 feet long. Yeah, that's why I didn't get one. They get longer than that. Silvers. Wishroad says, that's what I wanted to hear. So I bought one. Then after having a while and learning more, I found out I should have read more articles. Yeah, definitely. But this is a fish keeping channel. We don't need to get into anything else. I definitely don't want to make anybody mad. But when, I just don't like when people get mad at your opinion. But if they express theirs, we're supposed to be fine with it. It's just not, it's a two-way street. June says they eat them faster than they hatch. I'll pay for them, of course. Oh boy. What size snails do you need, June? Like, how big do those have to be? John said, or Hogan say, June, we can send you some for free, but it's too cold as yours. Let me see. Sure says your opinion is not based on a fact and it's demeaning to a certain group of people you don't understand. So you reject it instead of learning about it. Oh, I've done a lot of research on it and I listen to a lot of people about it, Shirley. Plus, I have common sense. Cecil says, hell yeah, I just got my plants from Dustin's Fish Tanks delivered. Hey, love to Trip. That's a new name. Good to see you. Appreciate you coming in. June says, any size eat them. I'm not mad, just very sad. Well, don't be mad and don't be sad, June. It's just my opinion. It's my take on thing. I am going to be 43 years old this year. Let's just not. That's just not. How about that? Let's just agree to disagree and be happy with each other still. Does that sound good? I like Shirley. I always have. Don't have a problem with you. Appreciate you a lot. And I like what you do for the fish keeping hobby. So let's just leave it at that and just go on. But anyways, I am dry. It is coming up on an hour 40. I am going to go ahead and jump off the live stream. I certainly appreciate, as always, all you guys that come in and chat with me. You're the best. I hope you have a great weekend, and I hope you even have a better week next week, and be safe out there. Thank you all. It was a fantastic live stream. Really enjoyed it from the beginning to the end. I really enjoyed it. Good luck trying to get through life without offending anybody. Oh, yeah, that's like a Mario game. Sometimes I picture life as a Mario game, trying to. So again, thank you guys. You guys are great. Love you too, Hoggins. And we'll see you guys on the flip side.